Welcome back to the Hearthstone Global Games. We're in the final stretch as competitors battle to see which country is home to the greatest Hearthstone players on Earth. You decided who's representing your country by voting for your favorite players, and now you can cheer them on using bits with HGG Cheer. Along the way, you'll unlock Hearthstone packs, new Twitch emotes, and a unique card back while the players earn a share of the revenue. We'll see you in the tavern. While the players earn a share of the revenue. We'll see you in the tavern. While the players earn a share of the revenue. Welcome back to the Hearthstone Global Games. We're in the final stretch as competitors battle to see which country is home to the greatest Hearthstone players on Earth. You decided who's representing your country by voting for your favorite players, and now you can cheer them on using bits with HGG Cheer.
Oh, that's interesting. Oh, that stuttering's happening there. Oh, that's interesting. Oh, that stuttering's happening there. Oh, that's interesting. Oh, that stuttering's happening there. That's interesting. I'm not sure why I'm not getting any smooth transitions. Alright, I guess that's a little better. Just doing a real quick test. I'm not going to do any actual flying. Normally I would have this aircraft parked at the gate and then go through sort of a modified checklist, go through modified flows, and then make my way out to the runway and just depart. but still in the middle of testing. I'm watching my GPU and CPU. Both are actually pretty much running pretty moderate right now, and I haven't even climbed anywhere yet, so I'm still sitting on the ground. But this is a new add-on aircraft. This is Zibo's Boeing 737-800, and this isn't the newest one. I haven't checked yet. He comes out with a beta version just about every... Actually, I don't even think it's beta. I think it's alpha, and it comes out just about every week, I believe. This isn't the latest one. I believe this is version E. Or, no, I'm sorry, not E. Which one is this? Is this O? But I added one of the things I've noticed during just the most recent versions is that they've added a nice little information panel here where you can access many of the features with this particular add-on aircraft. Before, you had to access it from the FMC down here, and it's cool now. You don't access all the extra flight simulator stuff down here in the FMC anymore, because that would be unrealistic. It's not quite, how it's done. So the FMC is left pretty much for FMC stuff. But up here, I can adjust all kinds of things and add all sorts of features to the aircraft. I did add the AV tab, so I can now look at flight charts. I have to put them in the right folder, though. We can go start at the airport, show the flight plan. Right now we're at, where are we, Oakland? Hang on. Yeah, Oakland. So KOAK, let me see here. I don't like how this is pausing temporarily. Not sure why it's doing that. Let's see here. Check. There we go. And of course, so Oakland it lists the frequencies and of course the departure and approaches. So cool. That's nice. So haven't used that yet. And of course the routes. If we're taking off from KOAK, oops, hang on here. Okay. Oh, wait a minute. Oh, I'm using the keyboard instead of using the keyboard on the screen here. Put that in. And an arrival airport, KOAK will do KLAX. There it is, 540 kilometers. And then, of course, a map. I'm just going to slowly draw it. Map's a little slow. Of course, the more you zoom in, the more detailed, the more it takes to draw it on the screen. The CPU is running higher than the GPU right now. I'm watching in the upper right-hand corner. Still got 40 frames right now. Before I added on this aircraft, I was getting about 60 frames, which was beautiful. 40 is still okay. It's just I'm not comfortable there with the 40. I'd like to be able to get be able to get to at least 50, but I'll take what I can get. Let's see here. Oh, I can change the maps here. Download maps. Let me see here. Select Slippy Tiles. I'm not familiar with Slippy Tiles. There's a lot of these features that you see here are future features. They're not actually in this aircraft yet, so they're not going to all work. Okay, so this one's much faster. This is the XPlane map, so much faster. So I think I might just keep it on that. What's the Mercator? Yeah, I'll just leave that at that. This. Start cleaning and loading. I'm not sure if this is working. Probably not. PA system. See if this is working. Oh, looks like it is.
One, two, down, one,
Oops. How do I go backwards?
2, 3, 4,
Nope. How do you go backwards in reverse?
United, 1,
Okay, hang on.
Ryanair, Delta 1,
Yeah, back to auto. Hmm. Let's see here. Here we are, audio. Pax volume. So everything I have is pretty much set to 5, but I'm trying to, how do you get to the second page? So this is new. I haven't played with the controls here yet on the information board. Oh, nose wheel. We're gonna do yaw. I think we'll do yaw on that one. AC volume. How do I? Generally, that one's fine. The align time is real. I'm not gonna do that. Got the passengers showing. Looks kind of weird. I don't know if whenever they try to model passengers in the flight sim, it does look a little creepy. Let me actually go back in the cabin here and show you what that looks like. Oh, they're not showing. I can hear them, but I don't see them. Oh, because hide is selected. Okay, I must have turned it off. Hang on. Oh, dang it. There we go. Alright, so let's take a look now. There you go. And there they are. So they don't move. They're just static models with photo faces. They look terrible, actually. But there they are. So let me check my nose gear wheel, see if that's working. Oh, it is. Okay, cool. Alright, so we'll just do a real quick test flight here. Release the brake here. And I will get the flaps lowered to our takeoff position. Get our lights on.
Ladies and gentlemen, we'll be taking off in just a few minutes. Flight attendants, please prepare the cabin for departure.
Set the pressure. This is, yeah, I'm totally just botching
The cabin is secured. Have a good flight.
Checklist, so just ignore what I'm doing right now. This is just quick and dirty stuff. You just make sure all the obvious stuff is turned off and activated. Let's see here. Alright. Make sure the window heat's on. Sometimes I forget to turn that on, and the plane starts to fog up in the flight deck up here, and it's kind of annoying. And then pressure is set, so we're good there. So we're actually just idling and rolling forward, but I'm gonna get the the engines are already idling right now, so we'll go ahead and do throttle right now. Pausing there. I don't like the pausing that it's doing.
80 knots.
And up. Oh, too high in the nose.
Positive brake.
Don't sink. Don't sink.
Oh, it's windy too. Let me get the gear up.
Transponder set to active.
Wow. Now what's... Let me turn that down a little bit. That's a little too turbulent-y. I don't think that's at the realistic level. There we go. Make a nice, gentle right bank turn. The flaps at 5. That is San Francisco International, just directly out 12 o'clock to where we are. There off in the background. You'll see San Francisco, downtown San Francisco, over toward the right in the background. You'll see the financial district of downtown coming up here shortly. And we're doing a steady climb. Getting above these clouds. We're still going to be climbing here, so I'm going to keep those flaps at that position. There's San Francisco back in the background there. Coming up over, was that Burlingame, I believe? South Bay, San Jose. That's San Jose Airport over here. Airport you don't often hear a lot about. We're flying west. I think we're going over San Bruno. We'll be heading over the San Bruno mountains, San Bruno Hills. Here.
Remember to use caution if opening the overhead bins to prevent injury from articles that may have shifted during takeoff.
Now that flight attendant announcement should not be...
To use approved electronic devices, and a listing of these devices can be found in the Sky magazine in the seat pocket in front of you. On today's flight in the economy cabin, it will be our pleasure to offer you complimentary Coca-Cola products, Starbucks coffee, water, juices, a variety of complimentary
raise up
snacks,
the flaps to one setting
as well
here.
as a selection of our fresh eats items and all-day goodies. Beer, wine, and spirits are available complimentary for our first class and Delta Comfort Plus passengers, as well as available for purchase for the main cabin. A complete listing of available beverages, as well as of our fresh eats items, can be found in the menus in your seat pocket. Please be reminded that Delta accepts only major credit or debit cards for onboard purchases of beverages and snacks. However, you can use your Delta SkyMiles American Express card to save 15% and earn double miles on all Delta purchases. For your enjoyment, each seat is equipped with your own personal entertainment system. On it, you you a selection of complimentary as well as on-demand TV shows, movies, and music. You will find that this screen will work best with just a light tap of your fingertip. Feel free to use your own headsets. Otherwise, if you do need a headset,
There we go. The color's a little bit better.
they are yours complimentary for this and any future Delta
You can
flights.
see this is photo scenery. You can really see it over here. This is photo scenery. This is not scenery that's generated by XPlane. So the way that you acquire this is you have to use a application that basically downloads photo scenery in chunks. And the reason why you do it in chunks is because it's a lot of data, huge files that you have to download in order to install it, so that you get, use these flaps up again, so that you get this photorealistic scenery. Well, it's actually, I shouldn't say photorealistic. It is. These are satellite photos that are embedded in XPlane's default scenery. The default scenery looks okay, but looks nothing like. I mean, it's decent, but when you use what we call ortho scenery, where it downloads satellite images from the web, it really adds a much more amazing look from the sky at the scenery and the terrain you're flying over. It's beautiful to see the Earth from up here when you're using ortho scenery. This version comes from Bing. Google has its own, but Google has a download limit, so I don't use Google, but Bing doesn't appear to have a download limit at this point. The other thing is that when you're using the scenery, let me get my flaps up some more, and we should start to level off. There we go. May actually start to descend here in a little bit, but I don't want to. We're just doing this for testing purposes, so. I just want you to be able to see the. There we go. Yeah, look at that. Isn't that gorgeous? We're looking south toward Monterey, going over the Santa Cruz Mountains down there in the background. Yep. My nose is going up. So the way that you download this scenery is that this application I was telling you about downloads it in chunks. As I said, they are incredibly massive files. You can download it at several different layers of resolution. Of course, the higher the resolution, the more crisper and sharper the images are, your scenery is. The caveat to that is that those files will eat up your hard drive space in no time. I've got 3 external hard drives on this machine and 2 SSD drives, and I have managed to download the scenery for the state of California, the entire state of California, Oregon, and Washington, and I managed to nearly fill up a 90% of 1 2-terabyte drive. Let me repeat that. 2-terabyte drive is about 90% full of the scenery, just the scenery, the photographic scenery, or photo scenery, for 3 states, California, Oregon, and Washington. I would like to be able to download for the entire country, because I'd like to fly outside of just the West Coast, but it's just, I mean, I can still do that using the default scenery, but I'd rather get the photo scenery for the entire country. I just don't have the hard drive space for that. What do we got? Oh, because I've gone higher than our pressure. down here. Let me turn here just a bit. When you're downloading the ortho scenery, let me head over that way. I actually should use some GA. I shouldn't use the commercial airliner for this. So I may switch it to another airplane and just fly maybe a Cessna, just to kind of give you a more idea of just the quality of the photo scenery. I don't choose the highest quality, and for obvious reasons. So I choose about 2 notches down from the highest quality, and even then, it still fills up drive space pretty quickly. The other thing, let's see here. If you notice the clouds that you see here, the clouds are being fed into the simulator through a program called XEnviro. And what XEnviro does, I'm using the older version, by the way. They have released the newest version. I don't use it because it cuts my frame rates so low. So I actually use, I think, 3 versions back, which is version 1.07 for those who pay attention to that kind of stuff. So the cool thing about the weather is that what it does is it downloads the current weather conditions for the area that you're flying. And it's kind of nice because it kind of gives actual current conditions, cloud cover, wind, temperatures, everything. And so we're obviously in the end of summer, and we got some clouds out here on the coast near Monterey. It's kind of cool. No turbulence in this area, but it will download every aspect, every little detail of the weather using actual, what we call MEDAR, or meteorological data coming from the NOAA, or NOAA, and National Weather Service and other sources that actually provide the same information for actual airliners. So it takes into consideration not just the cloud cover, but also the winds, and the winds at different altitudes. So that's kind of cool. You saw as we took off that it was pretty bumpy taking off from Oakland, but as we climbed up in altitude, I think we're picking up some turbulence, maybe not. When we got up to altitude, it kind of smoothened out, and the air got a little bit better. For the most part now, as you can tell, the air is much more smoother. I should fly over some of the more scenic mountainous areas, such as maybe Mount Shasta, just to let you see what that photo scenery looks like when you're flying around some high peaks. It's stunning, actually. Let's see here. Yeah, the clouds look really good. Yeah. I mean, it looks just like you're flying over the area in a real plane. Yep, relatively very smooth air. As you can tell by the wings aren't flapping around, so yeah, very smooth air. Turn my lights off now since we're already at the proper altitude. Oops. fuel. Oh, our altitude. Where are we at? Oh, there are we. Oh, we're at 38,000 feet, no wonder. Decrease the engine, cut back on the throttles just a bit. Just let the nose of the plane come down just a tad bit. So you minimize the forward thrust and let gravity bring the nose down just a little bit. And that's the San Francisco Bay Area, looking at the South Bay, looking northward. East Bay, looking over the Menlo Park, Burlingame area again, coming in from the south. Mount Diablo there on the right side of your screen in central Contra Costa County. What is that down there? It's like a quarry of some sort. I think that's looks like Highway 101. I believe that's Highway 101 that we're flying over right now. One of the busier Bay Area interstates, freeway systems. That noise means that we are climbing at a rate we probably should not be, or sorry, descending at a rate that we should not be descending at. That's an overspeed alert or notification, and it won't shut off until our speed doesn't exceed. There we go. That's because we were leveling off there that it turned off. Yeah, so I think the more we descend, it's definitely gonna continue with that noise. So you just have to bear with me until I get us down even more. I'm gonna slow us down tremendously. I'm dropping the flaps on this just so I can slow us way down. Ooh. the plane itself is vibrating. If you notice, that's why it's the jostling you're seeing in the screens, because we're moving so fast that it's not. It would not be the normal descent rate that you would see if you were actually in this aircraft, unless there's some sort of emergency and the plane is doing that for some other reason. We're definitely not going to make that runway at that airport.
2,500.
Oh, up. Think rate. Think rate.
Yes, of course.
Think rate. Think rate.
Look at the traffic moving down there.
Up. Oh, up. Think rate. Think rate. Oh, up. Oh, up. Oh, up.
1,000.
Oh, up.
1,000 feet
Oh,
stabilized,
up.
Mr. Perch,
Oh,
altitude
up.
set.
Oh, up. Oh, up.
500.
Oh, up. Oh, up.
400.
Oh, up. Oh, up.
300.
Oh, up. Oh, up.
200.
Oh, up. Oh,
100.
Oh, up. Think rate.
50.
Think rate.
40. 30. 10. 10. 20.
Positive rate.
That was not good.
Think rate. Think rate.
10.
Transponder set to standby.
Ladies and gentlemen, please remain seated with your seatbelt securely fastened until the captain has parked the aircraft at the gate and turned off the seatbelt sign. This will be your one and only indication that it's safe for you to get up and move about the cabin. Please be reminded to use caution when opening the overhead bins to prevent injury from articles that may have shifted during landing. You may now use your mobile phones and other handheld electronic devices while we taxi to the gate. However, your laptop computers and larger electronics must remain stowed. We invite you to visit delta.com for all your future travel needs, including
Someone's
checking in for a
backyard.
flight and managing your SkyMiles account. If any of you should have questions regarding ground transportation, baggage claim, or any other information, a uniformed Delta agent meeting this flight will be more than happy to answer any questions you may have. On behalf of Delta Sky Team, our global partners, and especially your flight crew, we'd like to thank you all for flying with us. We've enjoyed having you on board and look forward to the opportunity to serve you once again.
Yeah. Oops. All right, let's see here. We'll take off from, we'll just do a real quick flight. We'll use a GA aircraft. Let's do the Skyhawk here. And fly around, we'll do KC, Seattle, Tacoma. Start a new flight there.
the shootings. I mean, this is all, you notice we don't see any big shootings anymore since Obama left office. Have you noticed that? I mean, we had a few because there was still skirmishes going on within the deep state. But you see how it's kind of tapered off. We've kind of had a nice long reprieve. But it was a very big thing to try to gain, to try to take the attention away from what's happening. Trump's administration is now consolidating power. I don't know if anybody can sense it or see it, but power is being consolidated. And these guys are on the ropes big time, and they know it, and they know that the noose is tightening. They know the noose is, this is 4D chess at its best. 4D.
Whoop. Did it crash? Oh. YouTube crashed. Hang on here, folks. No pun intended, but it did.
God, stop. Now the snack bomber feature.